This is Sig P365 380 and Ruger LCP Max Silhouettes and SnapCaps 1. Now before we start, let's give a shout out to our friends at Daryl's Gun Shop and Range. Thanks for letting us use your fantastic indoor facility and also having a bunch more 380 target ammo in stock for us to use today. Really appreciate it, like always. And now, let's hit the range. Okay, we're back out testing the P365 380, again with the 15 round magazine. This time we're definitely going to get a failure because I put a SnapCap randomly in it. I don't know where it is. It's not the last round, it's not the first round, it's somewhere in between. So what we're going to try to gauge here today is how quick can we react to that failure, and then how does that affect our accuracy and speed. Here we go. I'm just going to aim center mass. Okay, we are going to repeat this same exercise now with the LCP Max. I should have started with this one, but oh well, it is what it is. Same thing, there's a SnapCap loaded somewhere in the magazine. It won't be the first round, it won't be the last round, so we're guaranteed a failure on this one. And we're going to see how it affects our accuracy and how quick we can react to that failure. And obviously it's a little skewed because we know there's going to be a failure, but let's see how we do anyway. Here we go. Center mass. Looking at the targets after round one, the SIG target on the left, I would say for me, that's an excellent group. The LCP Max target is on the right. And for me, with that being a pocket pistol, I would say that's a very good, to even bordering on excellent for that gun group for me. I would also say we see no evidence that the induced failure has affected our accuracy, though of course we knew a failure was going to happen so we can anticipate it. So I don't think that's sort of a fair test of that. Using this SnapCap only really tests a failure of the round to fire. It doesn't really simulate many of the other failures you could have, which I need to look into ways to regularly, randomly introduce those failures during testing so that I can better prepare for them. One thing I noticed watching this video that I need to add that I don't do today is I think I need to add a tapping of the bottom of the magazine, the tap-in rack, if you will, as they say, which I think if I do get other failures, that tap could help before the rack, so we'll see. Now you might also notice I blurred a section of these targets. For our next set of videos, I forgot to adjust the camera angle for the new point of impact. We were aiming at the head section of the silhouette target, so most of the shots are at the edge of the camera frame. So we are going to re-show this image and blur other areas, highlighting the areas we were shooting at between clips. You can see for hopefully comparison, the SnapCap we're using is this. Looks like a bullet, anodized red, not at all a bullet, but it is the same size and shape of the Federal American Eagle 95 grade FMJ ammo that we are firing today. So it's close enough to where when I am moving around in the bullet bucket, I can't tell by feel that there's going to be which one's the SnapCap and which one is the live ammo. For round two, we did a similar setup, this time aiming at the head of each silhouette target, which unfortunately, as I said, is sort of at the edge or outside of the picture frame. Now after round 2, again, I think with both firearms we have very good groups for me on those targets. Now one mentionable there is, you'll notice in the LCP Max portion of the video that on that failure I had to work the slide 2 times, and I'm pretty sure after reviewing the footage that is because on my first attempt I think I short stroked the working of the slide trying to eject the round, and it didn't actually eject the round, it just on the short stroke fed it right back into the barrel. Though somehow I got enough of a pull on the slide to cock the hammer on it. So I don't know, we'll have to look at that and see what I did wrong. Whatever it is, I'm inclined to say it's 100% the shooter, not at all the firearm on that one. Now for our third round 3 here, I shot at the number 8 on each silhouette, and because I had some extra ammo, the first magazine that I fired through the LCP Max in this last set of videos, I did at the center mass, and then the last set are going to be at that number 8. Now in reviewing our targets after round 3, I would say after all 3 rounds, the groups that I shot from both firearms were consistent. Now for professional shooters or people that are not amateurs like me, they probably look at those groups and say they can do a lot better, and there are a lot of people that can do a lot better. But as what I consider an average ordinary shooter, I look at those groups and I'm actually pretty content with that performance. Now we did see a flyer from each firearm in that round 3. With the LCP Max, could that be related to the failure? Potentially, I don't know. We'll have to revisit this one again to see if, the flyer that we saw in round 3 is one that we also saw in round 2 that wasn't caught on video. Now even if that is related to the failure, I think that's more of a shooter technique training issue and not an issue related specifically to either firearm. Now while I'm not an expert, I think one thing we did show today is that even for a average everyday amateur shooter, that for some failures, at least for both firearms, they can be equally as easy to deal with. Well, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day.